Welcome back to another episode of Health Hacks as I continue doing a recap of all the topics I've talked about in 2024. And sleep was one topic that I spent a lot of time on because, of course, it is so important. It is absolutely non-negotiable for health. And yet so many people struggle with it. And so some really quick tips here that I can mention that I covered in previous episodes are going back to episodes starting at 391, talking about how much sleep is needed, discussing our natural human circadian rhythm, overall lifestyle factors that are impacted by our sleep and things that we can change, such as getting off screens earlier. I love to say getting ready for bed is 3-2-1. Stop eating 3 hours before bed so your body has time to fully complete digestion before you go to sleep, because it wants to go into detox mode while you're asleep and not be in digestion mode. Stop drinking 2 hours before you go to sleep so that you don't have to wake up in the night to urinate. And 3, get off screens 1 hour before bed. And even if you're on screens up to 1 hour before bed, I highly recommend using blue light blockers, such as blue light blocking glasses or blue light blocking screens, turning your phone or your tablet onto night shift. As when we get blue light into our eyes, it blocks the body's ability to produce melatonin. And we need the body producing melatonin in order for us to get into a deep restorative sleep. So starting back at episode 391, you can dive into each of them if sleep is a problem for you, to gain greater understanding about steps you can take to improve your sleep, including also creating a bedtime routine for yourself. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat today. So we often have bedtime routines for our kids, and then we read stories to them when they're really little, and then as they begin to read to themselves, we kind of let those bedtime routines go away and have them fend for themselves getting ready for bed. And it's actually really important to keep the routine so that our brain knows, oh, they're doing this, that means they're going to be going to bed soon, as it sees the pattern, and the brain will also start producing melatonin as well to again get into that deep restorative sleep. These bedtime routines can be really simple, from 4 steps that take a minimum of half an hour, from stretching to bath time or shower time, brushing teeth, bedtime story time with the brushing teeth, putting jammies on, etc., then in bed reading books. And just those 4 steps done in the same order every night over the 30 days gives the brain enough of a pattern to go, okay, so from the moment they start their shower bath time routine, then I know they're going to start getting ready for bed. So I'm going to start producing melatonin. For adults, we just want to also just calm the day, get off the television, and be mindful for that last hour before bed. Dim the lights in the house. Read an actual book versus being on screens. Stretching, walk the dog, sit quietly, do some breath work. All of these are great tips before going to sleep. Another thing to think about is, what are you eating in the hours before bed, if you're not yet stopping 3 hours before bed? And also, what are you drinking? How close to bedtime are you drinking caffeine? It has an 8-hour half-life. So even if you've had caffeine at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, at 10 p.m., half of that caffeine is still in your bloodstream, potentially keeping you awake. What are you eating? Have you had sugary meals later in the day, a sugary dessert that is keeping you awake and preventing you from being able to fall asleep? There's so much with sleep that we need to understand in order to be able to perfect our sleep rhythms. And yet we don't have classes around sleep, or not very often. We just assume because babies can sleep when they're born, humans know how to sleep, everybody can sleep. And yet so many people are struggling with insomnia. So go back and check out all of those episodes. I also have a program called 6 Steps to Better Sleep. So it's got some hypnotic sleep suggestions for your brain as well that you can listen to before you go to bed to help included in that course. So I'll drop a link for that if you struggle with sleep. I highly recommend you make it a priority to focus on your sleep, learn all the steps to set yourself up for successful sleep, and then start enjoying the benefits of a good night's sleep every night.